Welcome to Old Folks Racing PlayStation, brought to you by the newly renamed Labareda channel. Don't forget to subscribe. This week is a special event. That's the Daytona 500 Oval. But first, before the main event, we have two supporting races, and the first one, you can see the car there. It's the Ford Mustang Trans Am car. A car designed to be in ovals, but requires a good pair of hands to drive it at speed around the Daytona tri-oval. Here is the qualifying on the left, the starting grids. It is a random grid. Todd Antonio and Frankie, two Americans on the front row. I wonder if that was by chance. Diogo Silva, Jorge Jesus on the second row. Peter Adrian and Kev Allen on the third. Fourth row, it's Jambo and Darren Head. Fifth row, Scott Davely and Andrew Dalby. Sixth row is Gonçalo Mota and Simon Allen, with Rob Oldham completing a set of 13 starters. And great to see 13 drivers turn up for oval racing. The world has definitely changed and is becoming more American as we speak. And we are going to go with this rolling start, and the green flag is on. Go, go, go! It's Daytona, baby, in the Ford Mustang, and we have no accidents so far, which is good news because they already managed to go in corner. Look at this 3 wide for the lead there. That is Jorge Jesus, and someone has gone off already, and we are going to have to see what happened because, of course, American racing, you do have to look at the crashes, and we are going to go on the chase camera with Jambo that seems to get involved. Oh, look at that. This was 3 wide, and that's the first big takeaway from this race is tri-oval and project cars 2 with drivers that are not very experienced. Do not attempt 3 wide, otherwise this is what happens. Yes, classic driver in the middle ends up also losing the most time, and Jambo is certainly lost a fair bit of time. Let's go back to the... Oh, look at this. There's another 3 wide here, and big crash. Oh dear. And look at Jorge Jesus. He managed to maintain the lead. No, Diogo Silva went into the lead, but we are going to see this again, this crash from Darren Head's perspective. Darren Head, a very careful driver. Where was he in this sandwich? Oh, look at that. There was just too much going on there. And 3 wide, 1, 2, and oh, it was Diogo Silva. No, I apologize. It wasn't Diogo Silva. Oh, big crash there. We are trying to find the instigator of this crash. I believe it was Frankie. Well, instigator, or at least the driver that... Oh, look at that. That was... the Frankie was trying to go in the middle and ends up making contact with Jorge Jesus. And oh, look at this. Absolutely classic. Looks like the actual Daytona 500. Everyone, almost half the field, involved in this accident. We have a race of 15 laps, and we are now with Diogo Silva, who is the new leader, and let's see if they manage to go without crashes for a while. No, they're going 3 wide again, and I don't think this is going to work. No, it hasn't worked again. They are all in the infield. That's... Oh, Diogo Silva almost hitting another car, but Rob Oldham... No, we have to see this. We have to look at Rob's first lap on board. I apologize for taking this time, but Rob has come from last to first in the matter of 1 lap. And that's no... Oh, look at that. We have to look at this. Let's look at him from the beginning of the race. Yes, and let's look at this from... the cockpit camera, and let's look at this. This is how you go from last to first in Daytona. Look at this, absolutely brilliant there. Rob Oldham avoiding all the carnage on the first lap. He's up to 9th already, but just wait for it because there are 2 other crashes coming. This is the second crash. This is Frankie, Jorge Jesus, Darren Head, and a lot of others. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. He doesn't put his foot down. Absolutely brilliant management there of the carnage, and Rob is now up to fourth, and is going to be, well, he's not going to lead the first lap, but in the beginning of the second lap he's going to go into the lead of this race. This was the other 3 wide, and it was Jorge Jesus that was going on the high side, Diogo Silva on the inside, and that other one was Gonçalo Mota, and they all go and disappear from Rob's in front of Rob, and we are going to, oh, look at this, he's got quite the lead now. Simon Allen, remember Simon Allen was starting in the last row as well. He's up to second. Third is Jorge Jesus, that has managed to miraculously avoid most of the carnage despite being involved in 2 out of the 3 accidents. Here he is, the number 8 Mustang, and he is actually not that far behind Simon Allen. We are going to follow this group of 2 drivers for a while, because I sense that a nice battle is coming here as they finish lap 2 out of 15. And George is very keen to now draft from Simon and go back into that second position. Let's see how this is going to evolve, and all of a sudden, because they are working together, they are getting closer to leader Rob Oldham, and this is how the triover works with this car. The drafting effect is quite considerable. Look at this, just because Rob is on his own, he is absolutely being caught by these 2 flying drivers, and Jorge Jesus is on the inside in turn 3, and he's going to go into second, but here comes Simon Allen back at him, and they are swapping positions and getting closer to the lead. Behind them we have Scott Davely, and Frankie has made a good recovery. Diogo Silva has made a decent recovery as well. Let's see, oh, and something has happened there. That's just parts of another car from a previous incident. Look at this now, Jorge is on the high side and losing a bit of momentum. Let's look for other battles before we go back to this battle that is quite heating up. Scott Davely is in 4th, Frank is in 5th, Diogo Silva is in 6th spot. 7th is Andrew Dolby, and he's being pursued by Jumbo and Kev Allen. Kev is up to 9th. Todd Antonio, the pole position man, is down to 10th, and Gonçalo Mota is 11th. Peter Adrian and Darren Head is in last place, but we are going to go now. The race leader is, look at this is a 3-way battle for the lead of this race, and Simon Allen is going to go on the high side now on lap 5. He's side by side with Rob Oldham, with Jorge Jesus. Oh, Simon has lost a bit of momentum there in the high side. It's still early days here at Daytona, but we already have a 3-way battle for the lead. Look at this, Jorge Jesus is now drafting from Rob, and he's trying to also draft from Simon. Simon is slightly ahead. He's trying to come down now, and he's going to go into the lead. Simon Allen is the new leader here at this supporting race of the big special Old Folks Racing PlayStation event, the Daytona 500, not quite 500 miles, but we will go to the main event very soon. This video will have both the support races, and look at this, these drivers have actually learned how to run in ovals in a civilized manner. As Simon Allen continues to lead, second place is Rob Oldham, and is forcing Jorge Jesus to work on the high side, whilst at the same time benefiting from, oh, he's not, he's allowing now, oh, he's coming side by side with Simon, and now this is the dread, the 3 wide, and they are coming to lap another car. That is Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo is going to stay on the high side. Well done to Gonçalo Mota, because this pack that is battling for the lead is coming at a much higher speed. Simon Allen is now trying to draft from new leader Jorge Jesus. Jorge is back into the lead, and now the 2 drivers, the 2 green cars, are trying to work together. No, they're not. And Rob Oldham and Simon Allen collide, big hit, and they are oh dear, Jorge Jesus is back in the lead. Simon Allen, where is he? Is off the shot, and oh, he's coming back, and oh, he's coming back in front of a very interesting group, and we are going to actually follow that group. That's Andrew Dalby. No, that's Kev Allen. Yes, Kev Allen. Kev Allen is in 7th place, I believe. No, 6th place, I apologize. Andrew Dalby is on the outside and Diogo Silva is back into a top 5 position. Look at that. This is quite a heavy battle. There is another battle going on in front of these drivers. We are going to check. That is Frankie and Rob Oldham. Frankie now up to 3rd. And look at the lead that Jorge Jesus has in this race, 8 seconds, and that's going to be difficult because 2nd place man is also running alone. Rob Oldham is in 4th spot, 15. Diogo Silva. Diogo Silva is on the outside now of Rob. Rob has lost a bit of time. No, sorry, that's. I apologize. I'm mixing up liveries again. This is side-by-side racing for 3rd place between Rob Oldham and Frankie. This is the group that the other group I was talking about, battle for 5th. This is Diogo Silva, Kev Allen and Andrew Dalby, and all of a sudden with 8 laps completed, a lot of drivers have learned how to run in ovals with this car and they go drafting there side by side, and Diogo Silva is there's a crash in front of these guys, and that was Frankie, and we are going to have to stop to see what happened to Frankie because he was running so well. We are going to go chase camera here. Was this a collision with Rob Oldham? Yes, it was. Oh, and someone was in there stopping on the track. That's Rob Oldham in front of him, and Frankie is going to go on the outside, and bang! Bang! That car was stopped on the high side, and Frankie saw it too late. And disaster for the American driver. Let's go and give it a check on what's happening here. That is race leader Jorge Jesus, and he is actually in a very good position to win this first supporting race. Scott Davely, Mr. Consistent, is up to 2nd. And look at this, Kev Allen is up to 3rd because I believe that some other drivers had to slow down for the Frankie incident. And look at that. That is now Kev Allen in a very good recovery race. He is up to 3rd. Diogo Silva is down to 4th. And now will they work together to try to catch Scott Davely? The gap is around 3 seconds. And these two seem to me that they are trying to work together to not lose that much time and try to use the last remaining laps to try to battle for 2nd place. They are running side by side in the turn 1 here at the Tri-Oval, and possible to run side by side through the lap, but probably quicker for one of the drivers to draft from one another. This is now Diogo Silva going up to 3rd. Oh, look at that. We've got another battle here between Simon Allen and Rob Oldham. They're also running side by side through the corner. Now Simon is trying to draft from Rob Oldham. They're side by side. Andrew Dalby is in 7th. Todd Antonio is up to 8th. 9th is Jumbo. 10th is Frankie. And some drivers that have not recovered that well were Darren Head from that incident on the first lap, and also Simon Allen all over the place there in turn 4. He was trying to make a move around another driver and lost a lot of momentum there. And the battle for 3rd continues as Diogo Silva continues to work together with Kev Allen, and they're getting closer to Scott Davely. I apologize. That was not Simon Allen. It was Rob Oldham. No, I'm getting confused here. No, that was a lapped car in front of Simon Allen. It was Simon Allen that was a bit all over the place. The driver that's in front of him, we are going to try to identify him. It's not Peter Adrian, it's not Darren Head, it's not Frankie, it could well be Gonçalo Mota. Yes, I do apologize for the mix-up. It was Simon Allen trying to go around Gonçalo Mota, lapping him, and ended up in the wall. Simon continues to be in 5th place, which is a good result in such a strong field here at Daytona. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Kev Allen and Diogo Silva The work together is paying dividends as they are ever closer to Scott Davely. Cavallo now running third. Scott Davely is already trying to position these two drivers in his mirrors. Jorge Jesus is 8 seconds ahead and he should be en route for a win. Look at that. These two drivers are absolutely coming at Scott. And they are probably trying to go high on Scott at the same time or low in the straight. That could also work. But look at that. They're absolutely coming at him. And Cavallo is the first in line. Excuse me, I'm in a bit of a rush, Scott. And off they go. Diogo Silva is trying to follow him into turn 3. And they are both going to overtake Scott Davely. And Cavallo is now up to third. And up to second, I apologize. Diogo Silva is up to third. And fourth is Scott Davely. But now Scott has the ammunition, because he's going to be able to draft from these drivers, and he's coming at Cavallo, and Diogo Silva goes up to second, and Cavallo goes up to third. And we are on the penultimate lap, and this is the most interesting battle on the track. Let me just make sure that nothing else is happening, not from the leaderboard. We have a three-way battle for second. Jorge Jesus is absolutely safe in the lead, but look at that, who's going to win this battle, because what matters will be literally the last corner. Here comes Cavallo. He's being pushed by Scott Davely with Diogo Silva on the high side as they approach turn 3 for the penultimate time. Diogo Silva is going to try to go low. Yes, he needs the drafting from Cavallo. He's going to try to go high on Cavallo as they cross the line. And who is going to be second inside? Seems to me that is Diogo Silva. No, it is Cavallo that crosses the line in second, but it's still one more lap to go. They are avoiding 3 wide, but on the last lap, will they go 3 wide or not? Jorge Jesus is going to win the race, and look at this, they are actually catching up to Jorge quite quickly, but only one more lap to go. We are going to, this is Jorge Jesus, he's going to win the race, but we are going to stay with this battle because it's absolutely brilliant. What's that? Oh, someone is hit the wall at the back. That's, I think, Gonçalo Mota. And Cavallo is on the inside. No, it's Diogo Silva on the inside and Cavallo now on the outside. Who is Scott Davely going to push as they go and now approach the line? Jorge Jesus has won it. Is Scott going to make it 3 wide? He's going to push Cavallo, and Diogo Silva is going to Cavallo finishes second, Scott Davely third, and Diogo Silva is going to drop to fourth. Simon Allen fifth, Andrew Dolby sixth, Rob Oldham is going to recover to seventh, Todd Antonio eighth, ninth is going to be Jumbo, 10th is going to be Frankie, 11th is going to be Darren Head or Easy, because Peter Adrian is coming at him and they're going to go through the start-finish line very, very shortly. Can Peter Adrian get a run? It doesn't seem to be possible, and no. And that was race 1, the supporting race 1. We are not going to see this race again. That would make any sense whatsoever. We are going to merge the 2 supporting races in the same video. That would be another 15-lap race. This time it's going to be with the IMSA Audi 90 Quattro, the GTO car. And we are going to have the same format. It is random grids. Of course, it doesn't really matter in this race, because as you saw in the first supporting race, Rob Oldham came from last to first in a matter of a lap. Nevertheless, we are going to go through the grid, so to make sure that everyone is familiar with the old folks turning left here today at Daytona. Now, this is going to be a slightly different car from the Mustang. Let's see if the drafting effect is not going to be as severe, but it should provide good racing, generally speaking. And of course, remember that all these events are counting towards a final prize, with the main event having double the value. So Jorge Jesus is well positioned to win this event as it stands. Scott Davely, Cavallo and Diogo Silva as well. And Diogo Silva is actually starting in pole position followed by Jorge Jesus, Andrew Dolby, Cavallan, 50s Don Antonio, 6 Peter Adrian, 70s Darren Head, 80s Jambo, 9 Frankie, 10th is Rob Oldham, 11th Scott Davely, he's got some work to do, 12th Simon Allen, and Gonçalo Mota in 13th and last of the starters. But here we go again, let's turn left at Daytona. And we are going to struggle to identify drivers because they all have the same livery. Go, go, go! And this is absolutely amazing as... Oh, we've got the crash already. We've got the crash. 2 drivers involved. That's Peter Adrian and Jambo. And Jambo again involved in a crash within meters of the green flag. So not the ideal start for the Yorkshire driver. And we have already a leading pack here. Diogo Silva maintains the lead. Cavallan is going to try to draft him on the outside, and look at that, absolutely, 3 wide, 4 wide, this is not going to work necessarily, as Diogo Silva tries to give everyone a little bit of space, but will they, contact, and everyone somehow survives, but it's Andrew Dolby that is now leading this race at the end of lap 1, and everyone behaving very nicely indeed. Let's see if someone else has lost time. Look at this leading pack, it's absolutely brilliant. They all look the same, but they're all in the same piece of real estate. Lap 2, and again it seems to be possible to run 3 wide, but contact there between 2 drivers. That was Diogo Silva was involved in it, and no, it was Darren Head, or it was Don Antonio, one of the drivers surely, and Jorge Jesus is going into the lead now. The lead is constantly swapping between this leading pack. Look at these drivers being down the yellow line, and that's going to potentially generate penalties. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy racing. They are going 200 miles an hour. No, look at that. And somehow the major difference so far seems to me that you can have contact and survive to fight another day with this car, and that's quite good to see. Oh, look at that, someone is knocking down all the nose cones. Alonso Afonso, Jorge Jesus continues to be in the lead, and I think there is a crash happening around the corner because you've got just too much happening in too little space. And look at that, there's now Darren Head in second place, trying to make it a better result than in the first race, and we got almost half the field just in the same screenshot as they all try to draft away from one another. It seems to be possible to run 3 wide. It also seems to be possible to have non-life-threatening contact with this car. Now there is an emerging group of 4 drivers. Oh, look at this 3 wide. Let's see, is this going to work? And that was a good move by Simon Owen into the lead, into that 3 wide. And oh, look at that, somebody's in the grass, but recovers nicely. So far the racing has definitely been better with this car, perhaps because the speed is slightly lower, and also the side-by-side contact is consequences are not as severe. So a good car to consider in future oval picks. Also seems to allow very, very close racing, as we see the... and 2 drivers are there. Oh, no, this is the first big one. It's the big one. It's the big one there. It is the big one, and Diogo Silva is in the middle of it and losing quite a lot of time. We are going to see things from his perspective with the chase camera. We're going to rewind this a little bit. He was in the middle of that second group, and I wonder, oh yes, he was one of the drivers that was just connecting with Rob Oldham. Let's see it from his perspective. Rob is... the car's just connected, and then it is very, very difficult to unconnect these cars, and he ends up spinning, and not sure anyone else has actually been involved in this. So let's go back to the leading group. Alonso Afonso, Jorge Jesus is the leader, and that's... and somebody's in the grass there. Somebody's in the grass, but comes back. That's another difference. This car is definitely much, much better to control in the grass than the previous car. It wasn't Simon Allen. I wonder who that was. It seems to me it was Andrew Dolby, but very difficult to identify cars with the same livery. Now the battle for the lead is here, and it is Simon Allen that's going to go into the lead of the race. Yes, Simon Allen is the new leader. We are on lap 5, a third of the race gone. And we've got 8 cars separated by less than 2 seconds, and then we've got a few other drivers that have already lost a little bit of time, and the drafting effect, even if not very high, is significant. And so those drivers behind Todd Antonio in 7th are going to struggle a little bit to come back to the pack. Alonso Fonso is the new leader now in this race, lap 6. The leading trio is swapping positions constantly, and here comes Samanao, and again on the high side. Frankie is there in 3rd place. He's part of the leading group, and look at that, the second group is now catching up, and that's a group with Rob Oldham, Kev Allen, Darren Head and Todd Antonio, with Andrew Dalby still in the leading group. Now matters are getting difficult for Gonçalo Mota in 8th place. 9th is Diogo Silva, 10th is Peter Adrian, 11th is Jambu, 12th is Darren Heads. Darren seems to have lost a bit of time, and we are going to try to see what happened to Darren, because it seems to be significant. Did he lose it on his own? No, he did not lose it on his own. He did lose it on his own in quite a weird accident, has to be mentioned. Another lap completed for the leaders. That's the end of lap 6, and we have side-by-side racing again with Frankie now trying to go on the outside of race leader Alonso Fonso, and the guy at the start-finish line continues to throw the green flag. He must be tired of doing that. Look at that, some drivers are trying to make it 4 wide. Didn't quite work, but everyone survives to fight another day. They are losing a bit of momentum, but Rob Oldham is now in the leading pack. Let's follow with him. He's actually coming for the lead of the race. Oh, look at this. Rob Oldham is there's a spinner there. Oh, carnage. It's the big one at Daytona. It was coming. Rob Oldham is not involved in it. Simon Allen is not involved. Todd Antonio is up to 3rd, and we are going to have to see it from Todd's perspective, because he gained quite a few spots there, and all of a sudden is a contender for the win. And look at that, we are going to try to identify what happened. There was a spinner there, which was, I believe, Frankie. Yes, no, it was Kev Allen. That these 3 drivers get together, and oh, look at this, Todd Antonio, absolutely brilliant, avoiding action there by Todd. He is definitely an oval specialist, and Rob Oldham also did good job by Rob as well, avoiding carnage there with this rack. And all of a sudden we have a familiar face in the lead of this race. That's Jorge Jesus. He won supporting race number 1, and he's now en route for winning supporting race number 2. He's now opened a gap of 1.8 seconds. This is the battle for 2nd place between Rob Oldham and Todd Antonio, and Todd Antonio is now in 2nd place in this race, and there you go, that's the battle for 2nd. As these various incidents, look at that, someone is having a very badly damaged car there. That's Andrew Dalby. In 5th place, he's ahead of Peter Adrian, and we have a few other cars. Peter Adrian in 6th, 7th is Jumbo, and look at this car, he's been in the mud as well. He's running side by side with Kev Allen. 9th is Gonçalo Mota, 10th is now Frankie, and this is a nice little group here. 11th is Darren Heads, and Scott Davely is 12th, and Diogo Silva is 13th, and he's actually lost a lot of time. Look at this, Frankie is trying to come back into the leading pack. Oh! And there's another wreck there, and someone is facing backwards. That is Frankie, and that's not the right way to point here at the Daytona Tri-Oval. He is being pretty much overtaken by everyone. As we go back to the battle for 2nd place, again the lead seems to be very well defined and delivered to Jorge Jesus. 1.4 seconds with 6 laps to go. Unless these guys work together very, very meticulously, they are not going to catch George. As look at these, lots of car pieces there as they run side by side into the Tri-Oval as they try to work together. to try to come back into the leading pack. Todd Antonio is in second place. Third is Rob Oldham. Fourth is against Simon Allen. Simon Allen did a good job in race 1. He was fifth, and now fourth in race 2 with a good result. In the main event, it could well be that Simon Allen is a candidate for the win or second place. Jorge Jesus is, of course, the favorite because he's leading this race and he already won race 1. The supporting race 1, remember there are 2 supporting races and then a main event which will offer double points for this special winter event of Old Folks Racing PlayStation. And of course you can see all the action here in the Labareda channel. Be sure to subscribe the channel because I could certainly do with more than the current 9 subscribers. And you will see lots of interesting sim racing content in the future, and perhaps other motorsport content as well. Look at this side by side. These two are definitely very civilized at the moment. Rob Oldham, the rookie, of course, rookie for Old Folks Racing PlayStation, rookie as well for Oval Racing, is doing quite a good job. And this is another good battle here. Peter Adrian, he's been in the mud and is running behind not Simon Allen. He's actually being challenged by Andrew Dalby. Andrew has actually magically recovered the front of his car, and these two are trying to get closer to Simon Allen, and quite successfully doing so, because this is now a 3-way battle for the lead. No, sorry, tried to get closer to Todd Antonio. I apologize, I mixed up the liveries again. That was Simon Allen getting closer to the battle for second place. Oh, Jorge Jesus has lost time. What happened to Jorge Jesus? He certainly has lost a lot of time. What happened? They've been caught. He's been caught by the group that includes Rob Oldham and Todd Antonio. Yes, I got this one right this time. Simon Allen is 4 seconds behind. Yes, that is also been caught by Peter Adrian and Andrew Dalby. So the drafting effect working very well here, as now at the closing stages of this race, lap 12. We've got a 3-way battle for the lead with Jorge Jesus and Rob Oldham now on the high side, and Todd Antonio trying to decide which side he's going to go for. And Rob Oldham is going to lead this lap. Yes, he's going to lead this lap. He's the leader, but Jorge Jesus recovers the lead fairly quickly. So now we have got a 3-way battle for the lead and a 3-way battle for 4th spot. So we have quite a lot of action in these last few laps. We had lap 13, 2 to go at the end of this one, and Todd Antonio seems to be waiting to make his move now. He's decided to go for it, and he's coming. Alonso first. Oh, he's coming, and look at that. Rob Oldham was a little bit too defensive there. Chopping a little bit as Todd was coming on the inside. Now has Todd actually lost the connection there to the draft? I think he may have lost the connection, and I think he may need more than 2 laps to recover it, as Jorge Jesus enters the penultimate lap here at Daytona, and we are going to keep an eye on that battle behind them. But absolutely brilliant battle as well. Todd Antonio is in 3rd, and he's coming back at the leading pack. Simon Allen is 4th. Where is the group that was trying to catch Simon Allen? That's Andrew Dalby in 5th, now going high into the backstretch, and 6th is Peter Adrian. Behind them, Simon Allen, Kev Allen and Jumbo are battling for 8th place. Look at this, a 3 wide. 3 wide doesn't work in Daytona, not with this car. It's not such a severe accident, but that was a little bit ambitious with this car. And look at this battle for the lead. Now it's the last lap, and Todd Antonio is back in the mix. We are going to follow the leading pack as they battle now. It's Rob Oldham in the lead in turn 1. Now it's Jorge Jesus in the lead in turn 1. Absolutely thrilling finish. We did not have a thrilling finish for the win, but now this is a classic Daytona oval finish, side by side, and it is Rob Oldham that is in the lead in the last lap in the backstretch. But now Todd Antonio certainly is going to be a factor here. Who is he going to push to the win as they go side by side. He's going to go on the inside or not? No. And Jorge Jesus is leading. He's leaving space for Robo. Robo is the leader. Here comes San Antonio. Will they make it 3 wide? And this is going to be a photo finish. And it is Jorge Jesus. Jorge Jesus has won race 2. Followed by Rob Oldham. What a finish. 4th is going to be Andrew Dolby. 5th is going to be Simon Allen. 6th Peter Adrian. Look at this side by side here. And Jumbo beats Kev Allen. Darren Head. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little group there as well. Darren Head, Knight, Salmota, and Scott Davely with Diogo Silva in a lonely 12th place. And Frankie in a lonely 13th spot. That was it from Daytona as Frankie crosses the line. I hope you enjoyed this coverage of these supporting races of the winter 2022 special event of Old Folks Racing PlayStation. We will see you in the main event very, very shortly indeed. Until then, it is goodbye.